Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter for Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aiden Champion. Today, we're going to be getting into the tight end room. We've been doing a series of evaluations of each position group and what they're kind of looking like at this point in the offseason and uh, as of right now, going into fall camp. So, today, tight end room, one of the only rooms that's really returning a lot of its guys, or at least its core guys. Obviously, Jack Velling headlining that group, and Velling, you know, a lot of expectations surrounded Velling when he came over from Oregon State with Coach Smith, and there was that familiarity there with him and Aiden Childs having played together in 2023 at Oregon State in Aiden's first year, and the expectation was that Velling was going to be, one of the top tight ends in the country, really, um, and just didn't pan out that way. Um, he, like a lot of the offense in a nutshell, showed glimpses of his potential, but just didn't um, just didn't really live up to it. And fortunately, Michigan State has him for another season, and the expectations are still the same. You know, but what Brian Wozniak, tight ends coach, is really emphasizing with this group as a whole is versatility. You know, a lot of people focus or people on the outside treat tight ends or perceive them as receivers, which yeah they are, but they've got bigger responsibilities too, or at least not bigger, but other responsibilities where they got to essentially serve as linemen. They got to block as well, and um, there's so much that goes into being a tight end, and um, Wozniak wants that group to utilize all those traits, and I think that's going to be key this year for this group, um, especially when you consider the lack of protection there was up front um, for the backs last year and for Aiden Childs. But Velling, he does need to be utilized as an offensive threat as well, which is what he was at Oregon State and showed signs of being last year as well. But um, struggled reaching the end zone, only had one touchdown all year, and that came in the last game against Rutgers, and um, just never they were never really quite able to get him going. And so he's going to be key for this group. Um, with how deep Michigan State's wide receiver room is, uh, they're going to have to the tight ends are going to have to be ready to carry some weight too when there's coverage, extra coverage being placed on certain receivers because there's going to be so many weapons now. And I think Michigan State will benefit a lot from that, and Velling as well. Ball can be distributed more. You got more options. So I do anticipate there being um, an improvement for Velling next season. Then you look at Michael Masunis, who had a really unfortunate ending to his year. Came out of the gate hot, was great against Florida Atlantic and his first career start, and you're thinking this is going to be, um, a big year for him. It's kind of a pleasant surprise. And then goes down against Boston College with a shoulder injury, required surgery, and missed the rest of the year, and that was a big time blow. But I think injuries, the positive side of injuries are significant ones, at least, is that You can take the time to reflect. You can, um, mentally, I think it strengthens you a lot. And so I think that was, in a way, beneficial. Obviously, Michael wouldn't have wanted it to go down that way. But I think in terms of a guy who's developing, was stepping into a larger role last year, I think it helps in terms of the mental side of the game and, um, you know, developing maturity. So I'm looking for him to make a significant impact this year as well. And I'm excited to see what he does. Brendan Parachek, um, a guy who saw more action last year, made 3 starts. Um, I think he's a guy who kind of gets overlooked, but in that room, but um, is one that definitely needs to be accounted for as someone who can make a an impact for this team. And you got Jaden Savory coming in. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have in year one, but um, I know he was a big pickup for the program, and um, I think he could have a bright future down the road. So overall, looking at this room, it's one that you have the benefit of familiarity there. A lot of them have been here, and been in the system, know these coaches. Got Velling, who's known Brian Wozniak since his Oregon State days, and um, I think they've got a lot of the tools, necessary tools to kind of make a jump going into next season. So should be a room, to be feeling optimistic about, and I think it's going to help the offense a lot. It's going to help Aiden, and you know, overall, I'm looking forward to seeing what this group can do next year. So, as always, thank you everyone for tuning in. You can follow along with all of our coverage by uh, by checking us out at Michigan State Spartans on SI, and we're providing you daily coverage, tons of content every single day. So, thank you for your support and for your engagement. Hope you all have a great rest of your week and enjoy this wonderful weather for you Michiganders and those of you living in East Lansing. Thanks, everyone. Bye.